Welcome Aquarius to your in-depth weekly forecast for week commencing the 22nd of July for the Ascendant, the Sun or the Moon. As this week begins, we've got the fallout from the full moon, which was in your 12th house, which is, to be honest, a very tender area for a full moon. It may have brought some issues into the open of a more psychological nature, perhaps some old stuff or some hidden stuff coming up. But also concurrent with this, of course, Mars moved into your sister air sign of Gemini, which was a truly brilliant event because that means Mars has finished its journey through house 4, very disruptive, particularly when it went alongside Uranus, your modern ruler, at the start to the middle of last week, which may have created some very unsettled energies. But Mars moving into Gemini links to Pluto in Aquarius for the first time in 220 years. What a tremendous opportunity. If you are born early in Aquarius, you're going to feel the uplift from this in a particularly powerful way. That doesn't change the fact there's still the energy to work through from that full moon. So if there is still some sensitive stuff floating around, don't ignore it. Stay conscious to it and stay open to it. But if you do want to be more dynamic over the next week, Mars moving into Gemini certainly is a great chance to do so, because the 5th house is where we can showcase our talent, showcase the part of our qualities and skills and flair and artistry, but also to enjoy life, to have some fun. It's much more outgoing, much more energized, much more fun. But it also links beautifully to the moving Sun, which arrives in Leo later on Monday, but by Tuesday goes opposite Pluto. So we have some complex stuff going on. The relationship between the Sun in the 7th house of relating, where you've had Venus, which is excellent, and also Mercury, very good too, and the Sun's arrival does put the focus on relationships. So things have felt a bit brittle, a bit imbalanced. Perhaps you felt there's been a lot of practical expectations and responsibilities. The Sun in the sign of Cancer, which has had an impact on your psychological health, feeling drained, tired, that electric energy in your home or emotional sector, family responsibilities, anything to do with properties. But the connection between Mars and the Sun, which peaks on Friday of this week, suggests that there can be a big paradigm shift this week, which can really be good for you. But the Sun's opposition to Pluto on Tuesday is something we need to be mindful of, because the 7th house is where we need to collaborate, where we need to cooperate, where we need to understand how it is for the other person as much as it is for ourselves. And actually, Aquarius people are usually pretty good at that, even if it is in a bit of a cool, detached way. But with Pluto in the mix, it's also reminding us Aquarius people not to forget our needs as an individual. So that energy crests up on Tuesday, but we do have a disruptive link still between Mercury in the 7th house of relating and Uranus in that 4th house area. So if there is someone close to us who's not quite being as open or as availing as we would like, or there is any discussions going on around a property matter, things can still feel a bit on edge. But then on Thursday, Mercury makes its way into the 2nd sign it rules of Virgo. And that's a deep dive. So the discussion that's going on, the 7th house energy, with Mercury moving into Virgo, is actually what it means. So we can have the dialogue. Mercury helps us to decipher and unlock the true meaning. However, on Friday, Chiron, the so-called wounded healer, goes into a retrograde in the 3rd house, which is our connections with neighbours, our connections to siblings, but also our connections to our beliefs and our ideas. That goes on through to the 29th of December. If you're very strong on how you feel about things and you have good relationships across those areas, it may be still an opportunity to have a careful think about whether you feel heard as quite as much as you would like, or critically, are you hearing other people as much as they would like? The week comes to a close with the position of the moon in Taurus, once again emphasizing your home and emotional sector, squaring up with the sun in the 7th house. There may be two people close to you who are finding life a little bit difficult between them. You could find yourself as the referee trying to assist both parties. Perhaps just around a relationship you have of any kind, with a colleague, with a friend, with potentially a family member or a partner. It may be that your emotional needs don't quite feel heard, because the 7th house, where the sun has arrived on Monday of this week, is very much about listening up, trying to find that midpoint between what we need and what other people need. But it's also about protecting what we want, so it's our boundaries too. So it's a delicate balance, but definitely a week when you can feel much more energized, much more engaged with other people. If you are wanting to forge a new relationship with someone from a romantic viewpoint, the next 4 weeks with the sun making its way through this sign definitely provides, along with Venus, some true opportunities. It's been great being with you, but if you would like to have a one-to-one with me, a personal consultation, please check out my testimonials below. I don't edit these, I share them as is. Discover what other people have found working with me. If you would like to become a patron from $3 a month, I upload a lot of extra information. If you are already a Patreon, thank you so much for all your support. And if you would like to ascend beyond this zodiac forecast and embrace the power of more serious astrology, if you give me 3 pieces of personal birth data of time, date and place, or date and place if you don't know your time, I can produce for you your life roadmap report. This will give you searing insights to the patterns that are played out in your life so far, but a much more intimate understanding of how to work with those energies future forwards. In my special package of 30% off, you can also get your 12 months transits. That's the moving planets in the sky interacting with your totally unique blueprint. Also, if you know your tropical astrology, but you'd like to discover your draconic astrology based on your soul, your karmic charts, please see below for that too. The same package, it can be very, very different to your natal chart, but very much an eye-opener. Have a great week. Thank you for joining me, and goodbye.